G'day viewers, welcome to another super cool helpful video from the Goat Shed located in Newcastle, New South Wales, Australia. So today is Thursday, the 7th of December 2023. It's a partly cloudy day today and it's currently 22 degrees Celsius outside, which is 71.6 degrees Fahrenheit. So tomorrow, Friday, is going to get warmer, and then by Saturday we're going to have a 40 degree day, which is 104 degrees Fahrenheit. So it's going to be hot. It's the humidity that gets you. Alright, we mentioned in an earlier video, or even on our Facebook page, that we had a Grand Slam coming in. Now, those of you that follow us will recall we did a Grand Slam about 2 months ago, late September, early October, and we did some extensive videos on some very interesting repairs on that, and we'd certainly urge anyone that has a Grand Slam to go back and have a look at that. Alright, now we weren't going to do a video, as I said here on this one, but a few people have asked us, how do we do certain things? How do we clean things up? How do we proceed? Well, Spanky said that we really should show you. So, let's go over this playfield. What we have here, we have a playfield with quite a lot of dirty marks on them. Really dirty, brownish sort of marks. I'm not sure how they're going to come out. We've got a little bit of mylar down the bottom of the playfield, which is out of shot at the moment. And
no, this.
Oh no, we have it here as well.
Yeah, all the way up here. So those, if we, I think we'll be able to take that mylar off, and that'll take all that off.
All right. Well, so we'll have to see about that.
We'll give it a go. We'll try a spot where it's not as noticeable to start with.
Well, the first obvious thing we notice is that cover's missing off the top of the roto. I'm not sure what we can do about that.
It's unique to this game, so
it is, I think, isn't it?
We haven't got one. Like other games have got them, but not with the same pattern and whatever's on it.
So it's got the original bumper caps in there, a bit dirty. What all this brown stuff is, it's quite interesting. It's all over the place.
I think it's cockroaches or something.
Yeah, I don't know. You have to be careful cleaning that with the paint. So, you know, the rubbers have had it. It's all going to need a re-rubber. Got that one. Rubbers is...
Top arch needs painting.
Yeah, it does, doesn't it?
The wood's got to be coming off and sanded back and clear coated.
And all the plastics, they don't look too bad. Just
plastics are good.
This one here is a little bit warped, but other than that, it's not too bad.
Yeah, we might be able to straighten that.
The apron isn't perfect, but it's not bad. The shooter gauge has got all that well, it's rusted.
Score cards are pretty dirty.
Yeah, okay.
But there's a lot of anything chrome will buff up.
Righto, so the first thing that we generally do, we like to put this up on this side now, and we're going to take the pop bumpers out. Now, how do we do that?
That one's bent. Yeah.
Yeah, this roto finger's all bent. So we're going to pull the roto out and go through it. Yeah. Now, what we've got to do now is this machine's got a conglomeration of. It's got the 5/16 inch nut. What do you call those? Acorn nuts, and it's got these plastic things. So the plastic things just pull off,
But we'll find enough acorns in the junk box to clean up. We only need probably 8 maybe.
Yeah. So you got the spin tight there to take these off?
Yes.
Now what you've got to watch out for is the post. Is that post moving?
No.
No?
A lot of them do.
There is a special tool you can buy to put in there. Like a little wrench. Okay.
If the nut gets caught in the spin tight, just put it back on there for a little bit and you can just pull it straight off.
Yeah.
Okay, so
alright. So now we're just these rubbers have had it.
This machine's been in storage for probably 10 years plus.
Yeah, I think longer. So the story with this is the owner purchased it off a friend of his, and you know, it obviously didn't work and they put it away. So more stuff to come off.
This is the fun bit.
This doesn't take long at all. It's quite a speedy thing. And Playfield strip down next to no time.
Yeah, maybe 10-15 minutes. Now this one here, you've got to be careful with these lights. So we'll see how the situation is. We'll probably have to unsolder them underneath and pull them through.
Yeah. So this rubber here will just come off. Look at that. Sure, you're right. We got to put those back in.
Yeah.
These ones here, this will break, which it did, but we've just got to undo the two screws.
Yeah.
I like to put my finger in front of the blade like that, just in case it slips, particularly near the playfield. Because it is easy to do. All the posts, what we'll do, we'll put them in a solution of warm water with a bit of like dishwashing liquid in, clean them up. They come up pretty good.
Yeah. So, okay, so another tip.
Look at that, stiff as a board. I say this hasn't been changed for a long time, and judging by all the dirt on the playfield, I don't think the machine's had much love for quite a number of years. So it's always good to have these sort of projects to do.
I'm just going to take a quick photo of the tall posts, because sometimes if you don't, it can confuse you when you're putting them back together. You don't know where the tall posts go. So basically the tall posts are going to go on these side lanes and the top lanes. And on the corner of the roto. I think that's it.
Okay.
That's just an insurance. That's good. You get confused sometimes, because we might get back to putting the playfield back together for another week.
Well, that's true. Alright, so we'll just keep taking these screws out. I think everyone gets the drift of what we're doing. Next thing we'll do is we'll loosen all of these screws around here. We'll take them out, because that's, as we said, that's going to have to be painted. So what we often do, we segregate parts. So there's the 9 screws out of the top arch. That just makes it easier to find than looking around in here for a mess of screws and that. So playfield stuff's okay, but they're a special screw. It's like these screws that go in the pop bumpers. They're a special screw as well. So so these posts here, this is a 1/4 inch nut driver, which has got a hollow going through the shaft, so it sits over it. So these are really handy. They're supposed to be magnetic, but they're not real magnetic, these ones. And these are a product by Klein, good old American company, Klein Tools. I bought those here in Australia off Amazon. So if any local viewers are looking, you can get them, and I guess it's just a matter of going to your local Home Depot in the States and getting them, isn't it, or Lowe's. Very handy. Very pleased I bought those. Saved us a lot of time and effort. Okay, so there's the tray all completely removed by just removing those 9 screws, and then you've got the 2 bars that run underneath here as support, and then the metal plate that sits under there. So if you've never done it, you know, take photos. I mean, we do this so many times we don't need to worry too much about it. Now the only other thing I've got to do now,
we'll just do this one and that.
so lay something down to protect your playfield, and then get your like vice grip type pliers and just gently prise up.
Done.
And out they come. It's a pretty simple job. They'll all get polished on the buffing wheel prior to insertion into the machine.
Yeah.
Some of them are a little tight, so probably haven't been out since the machine was left the factory in 1972. Goodness me, 51 years ago.
Right, we've just got these 2 up.
Alright,
We'll take the tray.
take the tray off. Now that's a simple enough job to do. There's just 2 screws on the front there. And then what we'll have to do is just remove...
You lift it over the screw holes to start with, as such.
Yep.
And
Alright. And just give it a bump. And out it comes.
Soft.
Now we're just going to have to do the arch stick here. 2 screws there and 3 screws on the gauge. And it's up to you whether you want to take these off or not. Sometimes we do, sometimes we don't. It just depends on how dirty they are. So now we're ready to turn it over. Just before we turn it over, we'll just get the vice grip pliers again and pull all those nails out. Another good idea is to put something over the switch blades so you don't cut your fingers. And what we do, I'll get Graham to illustrate here to keep those out of the road. You just get a bit of cardboard or something, or cardboard is best. Just fold it over, pop it down in there like that, and they're out of the road.
Better hold it out the way while you're cleaning.
While you're cleaning. How's that for a pro tip?
But we'll probably take these off actually, Kim, to make life easier once we turn it over. Because this playfield's so dirty, it's going to need the big buffer on it.
Yeah, and that would mean we'll have to take the targets
out
as well.
Anything protruding out of the playfield's going to go. There's not much actually.
No.
Like the rotor target's going anyway, so that won't be there. The wood's going. All these side things are going to be taken off to get cleaned up and put back on. It's going to be a nice machine.
Okay. Alright, let's turn it over.
Yeah, let's try it.
Alright, we've turned over and we're looking at that pop bumper, which of course the machine's upside down now, and it's got masking tape on it, so we're going to have to unmask that and see what's going on.
It's masking tape to the actual frame.
Yeah, I think it might be broken. We'll probably have to replace that coil.
Yeah.
So all we're doing now, we're using a 5/16 inch nut driver to take off the nylock nuts on each side. Just doing the same here on the opposite. Now you simply remove the 3 screws holding the pop bumper frame or body off. And then we'll have to unsolder the wires that go to the lamp socket. So get those off. That comes out. Now we're simply going to unsolder here. Oh, he's into it now.
Yeah, this will fall straight through.
There you go. That's out.
Do the other one.
Now we'll just do the opposite one. Now we always take the spoon switch off to clean underneath them because they always get really grotty. And all you've got to do that is undo the 2 screws just here. Don't try and undo those, they've got a nut underneath them, and then you're able to turn it over the other way.
Here's one thing I just noticed, Kim. They've got the actual yoke on backwards.
Okay.
The baker lot should be on top.
They have,
like that one.
Yeah, okay, viewers, so let's just have a look at that,
It's
what
just
Graham's
another
discovered.
thing that you see.
See how this one's got the metal on top. Now that's going to contact the switch, where the Bakelite should be.
So that could give you all sorts of drama.
Could give you some problems, yeah. Okay, let's unravel this one and see what's going on with it. Yeah, there you are. That was just taped together. It fell apart, so we'll replace that. That's not a problem. The other thing to look out for when you're rebuilding these is...
Oh, I've seen what's happened.
The end of stroke switches. What's happened?
The top of the bracket snapped off.
Oh, well there you go.
That's why they've done it.
Yeah.
They've
the bracket's broken.
They've used masking tape.
Well, hang on. Just lower that. Yep. There you go. So the actual bracket of the pop bumper body's broken, and they've taped it down.
And look at the bend in it. Well, that was supposed to be. But that's... How would you break one of them?
No, well, they have broken from time to time. Remember we saw that one, that Pinfest that time it broke, and someone had replaced it with a non-genuine part.
Yeah. That's
50 years of work, and like when we all get to 50, we need for a check-up at the doctor to go for a check-up, don't we?
Yeah, well, that coil's going in someone else's machine. No, we're only joking.
Yeah.
We thought that coil would have issues, but fortunately we got a lot in stock.
Okay. So as always, visualise when you've got the machine out, and the first thing we notice is the amount of look at that. That's got a fair bit of movement in it. So those links are worn, but we'll be putting a new flipper kit in that. We pretty well much put a flipper kit into all the machines these days.
Yeah.
It's well worth it. And just while we're talking about that, you don't need to replace the coils. Coils are either good or bad. So we see a lot of people put new coils in, think they're going to prove one. They'd put new coil in, but they wouldn't do that. They wouldn't change that link. That's pointless. You're not going to achieve anything there. All right, well, we did complete the motorboard yesterday. That's just sitting back inside the machine now. The back box mech's done, so it's under the Playfield we've got to do. So we'll get to and start cleaning up this Playfield. And the roto unit has to come out as well.
Yep, we'll be doing that next probably.
We'll do that in a moment.
We've got to take the screws out for the wood.
Yes. And then we can turn it over and start cleaning it, but we'll remove the roto because it'll have to be cleaned. Now we'll show you how to do that. Right, here's the roto unit, looking at it from behind. Now Graham will operate the plunger manually, and you watch what happens. It's stuck. It's stuck down. You've got to manually lift it up. So that roto needs really a complete rebuild. The other thing you notice looking through the camera here, this spring isn't the best. It's not too bad, but
someone's had a go at it.
Someone's done something to it. Not sure if we've got any of those left, but we'll have a look.
Well, that's something that's...
Yeah, we might get away with it. So the first thing we've got to do now, there's wires are on a junction there. You can just see where he's got his soldering iron. We're just going to unsolder those off that junction. I know it's a little hard to see. See if I can get around. There you go. There's the junction, those screws there. There's two of them, one there and one there.
They're going to come out.
Undo them. And then all we need to do is undo. There's 6 screws on the roto unit. They just come out. That's these down here. Alright, and then we'll have the roto unit in our hand. And then we'll show you what's necessary then. Now those screws have been removed from each side. There's 6 all up, as I said. Now the roto unit will just lift straight up and out. Now lay it straight over, and the next job is to undo these 3 screws here to take the plate off. And it doesn't matter where it goes back on.
As long as the rivets line up, that's the main thing.
As long as the rivets line up, exactly, yeah. Now the thing to look for here is when we lay this over, we're looking for...
That one's bad.
Hold it down. We're looking at the snowshoes.
That's bad. They've got it. Yeah. Some are probably okay, but
So what we're looking for is if any of these snowshoes,
they should be rounded, not flat.
they should be rounded, not flat. Now you can file them, but as it happens, we recently bought new ones, and as we mentioned in the hit unit on the motorboard, we actually replaced the whole 12. Plus we replaced 2 rivets on the rivet plate. Now the rivets on this one are okay. Largely they are. We're just looking to make sure none are flush. It's a hell of a job to change them over. So we take the 1/8 of an inch
Small one.
Allen key wrench, and we'll loosen off the spider,
That was pretty loose, as it
which was loose, which isn't unusual.
And the other one's loose as well. Yeah.
That'll come off, then we can undo those 2 screws. Just here. Oh.
A little bit of wear on the rivets.
That plate now lifts right off, and we have one roto assembly in our hand,
Ready to strip down.
ready to strip down and go into the ultrasonic cleaner. Now once again, we've done videos on this in the past. We're not going to go through and show you how to disassemble it in this video. We prefer you
Just basically, just check all the continuation.
go back and look at it, or look at our previous video, I beg your pardon.
Even though these look like they're joined, sometimes it could be very deceiving. There could be just a little crack where it reaches the solder lug and just...
Yeah, now what he's talking about is on the back of the board, you can see all these links. Now we always get a meter and put it from one end to the other to make sure we've got continuity, because we have mentioned this in the past, but once upon a time, on a player unit in a game, we had like a break right there. Now the naked eye, it looked like it was touching, but it wasn't. It was only the fact that when putting it back, finger pressure felt that move. So we always buzz those out with a meter to make sure they're good. And it's also necessary to clean the switches on the back of the targets.
And check them.
Alright.
Well,
Alright, so here we are, we're about an hour into the job now, and you can see that Graham's got a little brush, and he's just been working on those areas that had that brown on them, and guess what? It seems to be coming clean. Now, we've used a little bit of commercial cleaning, like a spray and wipe type thing, just to initially wipe over it.
just to get the surface dust off.
And now what he's got on the end of that brush looks like tea tree oil.
It gets where the gum is that leaks underneath the mylar, that collects all the dirt. So how you fix that? Get some on a rag, and you go along the edge with your fingernail.
So that's where the mylar ends, and you get all the grime.
You get that black line off.
This Playfield hasn't been looked after for some time.
I think it's very lucky it had mylar on it, or it would have been a shocker.
Yeah, so it's sort of starting to look not too bad. Now, you can see just here where he's got those little bits of cardboard to keep the rollover wires away, and especially important where those ones where they stick up like a finger. You don't want to be cutting your hand on that. We took all the targets out, as you can see now, just up the back there.
Anything protruding through the Playfield is off, except Spanky's head.
Oh, there's Spanky protruding through the
You
Playfield.
want to have a look.
Yeah, he's having a look from underneath. But yeah, over here we've taken out the targets, the switches here, same on the other side. You do what you want to do. This is generally what we do. Now, I don't think anyone can disagree. This Playfield's starting to look really good now.
We're going to give it hard wax and a buff.
Yeah, that's right. We'll use a little light buffing oil on that, will we?
No, we'll use the big car wax, the car one, the keep.
Oh, okay, yeah, the big polishing one.
Big polishing one, probably twice. This is good for the ball swells as well. Just put a bit of this stuff into the...
So once again, that's the tea tree oil.
Yeah, you can see the dirt coming out of it.
Not sure how this films. It's funny, isn't it? We do this almost, you know, once or twice a week, and we've never really sort of shown you what we do.
Pretty well every machine that comes in gets this treatment, stripped right down. Unless it's just a quick repair and out of the shed. But
oh, now where he is, where that really that lime green is now, that had those plastic covers under the pops, did it?
And it's still got them on. I left them on. They didn't get the. Usually they left them. They get the dirt underneath, but these ones are really good.
Oh, all right. So that's why
they're the thinner ones.
Right. That's what. There's the stick down.
These could be the factory jobs. These ones.
No, gee, I wonder if they put them on in the factory, eh? I don't think they did.
Might have been an option. Maybe when the distributor got it, they might have done it.
Yeah, there's a bit of work involved there, but yeah, they might have felt it was worthwhile. Because yeah, all the players are pretty good. The only really rough spots that we can really see, if we have a really close look, just down here, just here, as you can see.
Yeah.
There's not a hell of a lot we can do about that, but when it polishes, when it gets buffed, it might improve that a little bit. I mean, once again, the machine's 50 odd year old. It's not going to be brand new, and it's not a full restoration. It's just getting serviced and running again. Just while he's doing that, I wanted to mention that we showed you earlier the roto target being really sluggish and not returning properly. Probably the main problem with that, you can't see it, but I showed Graham earlier on, the plunger was really badly binding in the coil sleeve, and obviously we're going to replace that. So the roto net has all been stripped, and it's actually in the ultrasonic cleaner as we speak. We'll run that for half an hour at 52 degrees and see how that comes up. Sometimes you've just got to put on stuff that's a bit greasy before you put that in the ultrasonic cleaner. You do find it necessary to degrease it a little bit with, say, kerosene. And how many times have I mentioned that kerosene is our go-to cleaner degreaser? But everyone's got different ideas on what they want to use. That's just what we actually use. So once this is done, we'll leave the Playfield unpopulated once we've buffed it and waxed it, and then we'll turn it over and we'll work on the other side. We've already removed the flippers out of the game, and once again you recall that we showed you, I think it's this one, the linkage, which is totally, look at this, look at this, look at the movement. That's crazy. So we've got, and you just the kit to put in that. The other one on the other side is not much better. And as I said, if you don't do that, you're wasting your time, because the flippers are the interface between the game and the player. Now we're going to be painting the top arch. I think I mentioned that earlier on.
And we might be putting a sticker on the tray yet.
We might have a few stickers left over to put on the tray. We'll just have to wait and see. So this game's going to come up really, really nice. Oh, and I didn't mention, when we did the motorboard, we put a new line cord in it, and this was also the game we've done a video on just a few days ago about that bushing or bearing, really called a bushing, in the drive arm lever on the hit unit. It was all loose because the rivets weren't securing it to the lever properly, and we were getting it jamming up. So this is the same game. It's getting a lot of love. Probably show you that actually. Let's see. So there's the hit unit there we're looking at, and that was they were the rivets that we had to replace on the drive arm lever. So that's come up quite nicely. On the other side, we had to replace two of the brass rivets that were worn below the Bakelite. Now, I think we've illustrated in another video how to change those rivets, and we are going to look at investing in a rivet press, a tool. So we went online yesterday after talking to Nick Shell and found one that'll be sort of useful. He suggested one from Harbour Freight. We don't have Harbour Freight here in Australia, but a popular automotive spare parts mob have them in stock, which are very similar, and we'll go and get one of those. What we're looking at there now is the 4 relays. Closest to us is the V for Victor relay, which is the reset relay, and then we have the man on base relays. They're numbered A, B and C. We mentioned the importance of those. We've carried out those modifications which we illustrated in a previous video to the latching plate. You can just see on the left of your screen there part of a white line cord. We replaced the line cord in this game as well. We often do that because it makes it a lot safer for the owner. And the other one was sort of like an old jug cord, and it had a switch on it. And we're going to rewire the on and off switch on this, was dismantled. So it's all coming along very, very nicely.
Well, we're ready to polish.
You ready to polish now?
Yep.
Okay. So there's the disc we're referring to. We've just got that on a El Cheapo brand machine called a Zito.
Good as a band.
Yeah. Anyway, that does the job. Now he's done all in this area here. If you look, just lift that away, I'll show you. Now it doesn't look half bad.
I've still got to go over it again.
And yeah, it's still got more to do. But they're the results. Now he'll turn it on, and I'll only leave this on briefly because it's very noisy. But here's how he does it. Now you can see the shadow there where it says home run, 500 points when lit. That bit area there polished up quite nicely. We're just going to come down to that bit we showed you before. There's not a lot of improvement there because those marks are actually sort of in the ground in.
It's been cut somehow.
Something's over. But hey, that's okay. I mean, once again, when the playfield's populated, this is going to look really, really nice. So that's where we're up to so far with the cleaning process, and this will take us another what?
Oh, for polishing probably another half an hour, and I think we could probably turn it over after that and populate, because we've got a lot of cleaning to do yet and a lot of buffing parts. But we got the flipper kit coming today, so if we could start with that. That could be coming soon, and we could start on the roto. I think it's in the ultrasonic already, is it?
Yeah, it's in the cleaner now. It's probably got about another 15 minutes or so to go.
Well, we can turn over. We can start doing the kickers. Like, we've got to take them apart, put new sleeves in them, and maybe springs. We'll see how they are, and check out anything else that we've got to do. About 4 or 5 relays under the playfield, and I've got to pull the bumpers apart and fix any parts that need fixed, repaired, broken, replace them or whatever. And I've got to buff up the bumper rings, and of course I've got to start sanding the wood, so that if I can get that done today, I'll be happy, because then it'll be dry by tomorrow when we start putting it back together.
The wood he's referring to are the side rail pieces of wood.
Yeah.
They come up nicely. You'll notice on most of our videos, we generally always do those.
Yeah, you got to, I think. It
makes a big difference. So we've still got a bit to go yet, but the product is looking pretty good. So we'll show you this playfield when we've repopulated it after total cleaning, and we're not going to show you too much more about what we do underneath. You've seen all that before. We just thought we'd take the time to illustrate this to you. Alright, here's the playfield, all repopulated. We didn't end up doing anything with the apron. We decided we'd leave that to give it a bit of patina. We did, however, have a spare sticker for the shooter gauge. It was quite grotty. We've cleaned up the flipper bats as best we can. Fortunately, they weren't cracked, because I'm not really sure if you can buy those stickers. Does anyone know if you can? I had a look at PBR site and couldn't see. So we've cleaned the whole playfield as we illustrated before, and this is how it looks when it's repopulated. So it's come up quite nicely. Now the apron up the top there, we didn't repaint that either, so we've just fitted, we've cleaned it and buffed up the bore gate and the puck, I don't know, what do you call it, holder. There's the roto target, looking pretty good. Have a closer look at that. Now the only downside, it hasn't got that cover on the top. Now I don't know if anyone knows if you can get those covers, I'm not too sure. If anyone knows about that, please let us know. The pop bumper body's cleaned up quite nicely, and the caps, because they say champs on it. Once again, there's a few specific things on this that we didn't want to damage. We did point out earlier on about the ball swirls in a couple of places, like here, where out of the kick out hole up the top here, and there's another little one just there. But overall, we're very, very, very happy with this game, and I think the owner's going to be super impressed when he sees it, because it was pretty grotty as you saw earlier on. Alright, well Spanky says he's very happy with the job, and he's almost prepared for us to put it back in the game and start the game and see does it work. However, as mentioned, we're not going to troubleshoot video this game because we've done that previously for a Grand Slam. This was purely about how we disassemble it, check things out and clean the playfield. So we hope that gives you some sort of insight into this. This will probably be about our second last video for this year now. We may make another one. We are still waiting for a Royal Guard to turn up, but we weren't necessarily going to start on that. Alright, well thanks so much for watching. Please remember to subscribe and give us a big thumbs up for our videos, for taking the trouble to make these for you. And this has been another Goat Shed presentation.